Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, a huge welcome. Today I decided to film the hijab tag video, which isn't that popular, but I just felt like I wanted to sit down and talk about the hijab. I have been wearing the hijab for a while now, both on and off and full time, which I'll explain in this video. But yeah, I just wanted to sit down and film a tag video, and I thought I'd start with the hijab tag. I've done an about me video like a while ago, but I wanted to do the hijab tag because it's something that I don't see that often, but I always find it really interesting to hear other people's experiences with the hijab and like their hijab story. So yeah, I wanted to share mine. So the first question is, how old were you when you started wearing the hijab? So I actually started wearing the hijab to school when I was in year 5, which in England is when you're about 9 or 10 years old. And I remember it was a Ramadan of year 5, and I had grown up watching my mum and my aunties, my khalas wearing the hijab, and I always found them so inspiring, and my grandma as well. And I just thought, well, I kind of understand a bit about it now, so why not just go for it and wear it in Ramadan, see what I think, and if I don't like it I can take it off, and if I do like it I'll carry on. So yeah, I was 9 or 10 when I started wearing the hijab. I think I was actually 9 like to school, but for me it was very much a thing that I just wore to school to practice for when I was an adult, and when I was at home, like when I would like go out with my friends, when I would go out to weddings and things like that, I didn't wear the hijab like normally. Like I was still into my hair, I still got into hair straighteners and that sort of thing outside of school, which I know is not a very regular thing. Like it's not a normal thing. Most people just put the hijab on and keep it on, or they're like on and off randomly. But for me, like, it was a school thing, practicing for when I'm an adult. And then when I turned, I want to say like 16, 17, that's when I started wearing it full time. So technically I've been wearing it full time for almost 7 years now, which is crazy. That's crazy that almost 7 years ago I was 16 or 17. Wow, time has actually flown. But yeah, so wearing it full time for a fair amount of time, like not since I was 10, but for a fair amount of time. Number 2, what or who influenced you to wear the hijab? Like I said, it was my family, it was my mom and my aunties who influenced me to wear it at that age. And then in terms of wearing it full time, like making that decision that like now I don't want to take it off, it was just about myself becoming more educated on why I wore the hijab, which I think is really important. Like obviously when I was 9 or 10 I wasn't making a decision like strictly for Islam because I was 10 and I didn't have the knowledge. But as I grew older and as I went through teenage years and hit puberty and all those good things, I made sure that I had a better understanding and a stronger knowledge on why I wear the hijab. And yeah, that's when I decided to sort of wear it full time, when I felt like I really had an understanding that this hijab, the choice to wear the hijab, is for Allah and it's for me and Allah, and it's between me and Allah. Yeah, so that's kind of when I made the decision that like I understand a bit more now about like why we have been like sort of asked to wear the hijab, and that it's for me and Allah. Like, and the more I understood it, the more I learnt about it, the more I understood it, the more I felt comfortable to transition to wearing it full time. And then when I was like 18, I started my Instagram page and my blog, and I was always a private account pretty much. I've always been a private account, but I just thought, well, if I'm going to be sharing pictures of myself on the internet, then I want to make sure that I'm keeping my hijab on, because it's not something that you can just sort of be taking on and off. So that kind of solidified it as well in a way, but obviously it's more the understanding and the knowledge that this is why I'm wearing it, and I want to keep wearing it because I agree that this is a good reason. Number 3, how has the hijab changed your life? I feel like my hijab has changed my life in so many more ways than I could even explain, and that's crazy because if you think about it, like, it's just a piece of cloth on my head. But growing up in an era kind of post 9/11, I remember when 9/11 happened, I was in primary school. I remember the feelings I felt at being a very, very, very young age, and I did my whole extended project on growing up as a British Muslim post 9/11, because it's something that did affect me. And I went to quite a multicultural school for my junior school. It's quite multicultural, but I was looking at my year 6 photo the other day, and there was 5 classes in year 6. It was like a huge year group, and in all those sea of faces, I was the only child in that picture that was wearing hijab. And I wasn't particularly a very confident child or a very loud child. Sometimes I was at home because I'm the eldest, and I'm the eldest cousin on both sides, and the eldest sibling. So yes, at home definitely, but in school, outside in public, like being very loud and like centre of attention was not me. I was never one of those children. So like I'm kind of amazed that I kind of took a decision at such a young age to wear the hijab, because instantly that defined me. Instantly that told people that I am a little bit different in a way, because I have religious beliefs that are so important to me that I am now wearing a hijab, which is quite a big deal, especially at that age. And alhamdulillah, I'm really happy that from somewhere within me I found the courage or the confidence to wear the hijab that day. And I remember like having a really positive experience of it, actually, because, you know, like children were curious, of course they were, that because it wasn't a common thing. We didn't have any Muslim teachers in our school, and there wasn't that many Muslims, and if there were, a lot of them weren't wearing hijab. I think at the time when I was in year 5, like 1 or 2 girls were, and then they're taking it off by the time we got to year 6. So yeah, in terms of the question of how does it change your life, it's given me such a strong sense of identity that alhamdulillah I don't think I would have formed without it. It's given me a quiet sense of confidence, and it's also a constant reminder to me of who I am and what is important to me in life. So in a lot of ways I feel like it's kept me safe and away from things that I wouldn't feel comfortable with. So for example, things like going out and like around alcohol and going out drinking and that sort of thing. Like my friends and my circle always knew not to even bother asking me, because they knew that's just not my scene. It's just not something I would spend my time doing, because that's how I choose to live my life. And a big part of it is because, like I said, I wear the hijab, and that's just that one step extra commitment to Islam, in my opinion. It doesn't make me a better Muslim. I don't think so. I don't think me wearing hijab makes me better than someone who chooses not to, because they could be praying all 5 of their prayers on time every single day, and I could be missing my prayers and you wouldn't know. But you might think that I am more pious and a better Muslim because of the outward appearance, but that's not my intention for wearing it. I don't wear the hijab to be able to look like a good Muslim. I wear the hijab because it is part of my identity now, and it has helped me, not just helped me, but it helps me to shape my life, and it helps me to make choices on a day-to-day basis because I have it. It's my comfort blanket as well. And I think in a way it can be a little bit isolating when you wear the hijab, because like I said, you are consciously making a decision to look different to other people. And in this day and age with Islamophobia as well, there are so many times where I've been in like a village area, even when I was doing my second placement on my PGCE, I will never forget like that feeling that you get when someone who's not seen many women in hijab before look at you with absolute disgust or absolute horror, or look at you as if you had done something awful. So it has made me more resilient to those looks, to those stares, and it's made me a stronger human being as well, because I could curl up in a ball and get upset about the fact that people are judging me for my hijab, or I could just continue to strive to be a good human being and go out there every day and, you know, set a good example as to what a good Muslim is, you know. So it's changed me in a lot of ways, and it's basically given me a good sense of identity. Number 4, what does a hijab mean to you? So much. It means so much. It means that I'm a Muslim. It means that I choose to dress modestly. It means I choose to put Allah first before anyone or anything else. It means that I can do anything that I want to do, but with the reminder that I am a Muslim, and that is the biggest part of my identity. Before I'm British, I'm a Muslim. Before I'm Pakistani, I'm a Muslim. I always say that it's religion first, then it's ethnicity, nationality, whatever, whichever way you want to put it. But before I'm anything else, I'm a Muslim, and my hijab is a constant reminder of that. So it means the world to me, honestly. Number 5, how do you deal with rude comments or stares you get because of wearing the hijab? You just have to learn to ignore it, honestly. Depending on my mood, so if I'm feeling like quite calm and like quite relaxed and in a fairly good mood, I will smile at the person and that will catch them off guard. So like if someone's like, look at me like this, like, you know, like the dirt on the back of their shoe, I'll just give them a smile, and like not like a smile, like a proper smile with my eyes, like I'll smize as well. And a lot of the times they'll just sort of look a bit surprised, like that's not the reaction they expected. But you know, I would say that happens like 2 times out of 5, 3 times out of 5, I'm in a mood where I'm just like, who do you think you are to look at me like that? Or I don't have time for you, so I'll just ignore it. And you do just have to learn to ignore it, and you have to learn to brush it off, because you know, they don't matter, they're not important to you, they're not going to affect your life. You just have to keep going. Number 6, what's your favourite thing about wearing the hijab? Apart from the fact that my ears and my neck are always warm. That's one of them. The second, like one of my favourite things is also never ever having to worry about my hair, because my goodness, I would be late all of the time if I didn't wear hijab, because nobody got time to sort of think about hair. But genuinely my favourite thing about it is like the fact that, you know, I can wear the hijab and represent Islam. What an honour. For me anyway, that's a huge honour. Number 7, can you explain the first time you started wearing the hijab? Did anyone help you in your journey? So like I said, with my like first school experience, it was fine. It was a bit nerve-wracking. I had butterflies and I put it on, and my parents were actually very unsure about me wearing the hijab at first, because they were worried that I was going to get bullied. You know, it was quite a middle class area that we were living in and that the school was in. So like I said, it wasn't like full of Pakistanis. Like I was born in East London, but I didn't grow up in East London. So I didn't have that same experience of this big community of Muslims. It wasn't the same. So yeah, that they were quite nervous for me, but it was something I was passionate to do, and I was actually like, no, I really want to try this. I just want to give it a chance, and if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, then I won't wear it. But I just want to give it a go, and you know, then they said, fine, well, if it's something you really want to do, then go ahead and do it. Alhamdulillah, my day went really well. But yeah, in terms of wearing it full time as a teenager, so like when I was 16, 17, and I think I remember like the first time I went to like shopping with it on outside, like properly, like keeping the hijab on and properly like wearing it. And actually I think for me the defining moment was a transition from the put on hijab as a kid to like a material hijab like this. That was a big step for me. That was oh my gosh, like I'm an adult now, like, or I'm grown up now, I'm wearing this full time. It was almost like I was getting into a commitment, which did feel a little bit overwhelming, but alhamdulillah, like I said, like my mum's worn hijab for as long as I can remember. She didn't wear it from a very, very young age, but she has worn it for most of her adult life. And so I had her, and then I had like my own family as well, like my cousins were wearing hijab too. And then like I said, YouTube, like honestly, it had such a big positive impact on my life, because I was like, well, there's all these really, really cool women from different corners of the country, and they're wearing hijab every single day, and they are rocking it and looking so good. And like for me, like I've said in previous videos, like style doesn't come naturally to me. I love makeup. Makeup is my thing. I love experimenting. I love you know, like learning more about makeup, but style is something that I struggle with. But just seeing like Dina's styling videos and seeing how cool she could look, and not just hijab styles, but like seeing her be able to style up the latest trends but still look so trendy and cool and awesome, but modest as well, that was super inspiring to me. So I would say, like in terms of somebody like around my age who was wearing it, I mean she is older than me by a few years, but she was like the most relatable to me. So yeah, I would say she actually did help me a lot in my hijab journey. Number 8, what was your favourite colour of hijab? I do like a good black hijab. I think black hijabs are like super comforting. I like this colour hijab as well. To be honest, anything either nudie or dark coloured, like this is one of my favourites because it's just comfortable to wear. It's like a easy sort of hijab to wear. And then obviously my absolute all-time favourite, which I probably won't be able to find now, but I'll put a picture of myself wearing it, is like this brown sort of floral hijab, which I've had for the longest time and I just can't get rid of it. Like I do tend to rotate my hijabs and get rid of some of them when I've worn them enough, but that one I just can't let go of. Number 9, what colour of hijab do you have the most of in your closet? Probably nudes, nude tones, and black. What is your hijab must have accessory? I'm not sure actually with this one, because I used to wear caps all the time, but then I found that I was getting really bad headaches from them. I do like to wear caps sometimes because my hair can be a little bit unruly and just like escaping from the sides, and that's just not what you want. But like I said, I don't enjoy the headache that's associated with them sometimes. And then in terms of pins, I don't wear pins on a day-to-day. Like I work in a school, I'm a teacher, and I'm always scared that pins are going to fall out and someone's going to get hurt. I don't work with young children, but still, like, you don't want to take the risk. And I have worn pins sometimes before, but they do, like, sometimes they come out, and it's probably because I don't know the best way to use them, or I'm not wearing a cap, I know that, but for me, like, it's just simple and quick to just put it on. So I don't really have a must-have hijab accessory. I do though like the no snag hijab pins for when I'm trying to actually do my hijab properly, like for a special occasion or I have a bit more time, and then those no snag hijab pins for under the chin to hold the scarf here and then you can style it. Those are really cool, so I would say that. Number 11, what advice could you give a newbie hijabi? I would say if you are new to hijab, try and stick with it. It's not the most easiest journey that you're going to go on, especially if you spend quite a few years like not wearing it, or you're like older than, like, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, although even that can be pretty daunting. But yeah, I think you have to really think about your intentions and think about why you're wearing it, and a lot of the times if you're wearing it for a reason that's to do with Allah's going to help you with it. Quran, Allah Ta'ala says that if you take one step to Allah, He'll take 10 steps to you, which subhanAllah is amazing. And I feel like that with the hijab. Like, I feel like sometimes my iman can be so low, but the only thing that's kind of holding me on really tightly is my hijab, because that's my link to my Lord. And that's one thing I would say, is that seek help from Allah, ask Allah to help you, and do it for the right intentions. And yes, you're going to get funny looks. Yes, you might get questions from people in your life, but that's normal. That's regular, like, normal stuff, you know, and it will pass, and eventually it will become like easier, become like people will not question it, because it will become like routine for them to see you in it. It's like anything that you see new, you might question it at first, you might make a remark on it at first. Don't let other people's words put you down or put you off. Just think, who are you doing it for and why are you wearing it? And once you do that, then, you know, it just becomes so much easier. Number 12, would you ever take the hijab off? I don't think I would, no. I would be lying if I said that I haven't taken it off in the past. Like, I remember when I was like in sixth form, so that was in school, I did take it off one day, and just to kind of see what it would be like, and honestly, it wasn't all that. It really wasn't. I decided that I preferred wearing the hijab, and to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of people, if not all people, look better with hijab on. Personally, that's my personal opinion. And yeah, so I personally think that I can look beautiful without hijab. Don't get me wrong, when I make an effort I can look really beautiful, but I still think I look like myself with hijab, if that makes sense. It comes back to like my wedding video as well. It's like, would you wear hijab, or would you take the hijab off? At the end of the day, I didn't feel like I looked like myself without the hijab with my wedding outfit on, because the wedding outfit itself is already so not what I would normally wear, so I wanted to keep a little bit of me within that wedding outfit, and that was hijab. So yeah, I don't think I would, God willing. 13, what is the craziest thing someone has asked you regarding your hijab? Probably like, do you shower with it on? Do you ever take it off? Well, duh. I find it crazy when people ask me like, are you forced to wear it? Like, no. Of course not. And I always say, like, I feel like if someone tried to force me to wear it, then I would definitely rebel against it. It has to come from yourself, has to be your own choice. Alhamdulillah, like, my parents have never been like that anyway, where they would like put pressure on me to wear it. They know it's a very personal thing themselves, so they would never force me to. But yeah, number 14, do you wear a niqab, or do you think you will in the future? No, I don't think I ever would. I'm like respectful to people who do, but personally it's not for me. I think in the job role that I do, it just wouldn't suit. But also I just can't see myself wearing a niqab, to be honest with you. Number 15, what is your opinion of countries which propose to ban the niqab or the hijab? My opinion is that if you are trying to ban the hijab, you are essentially trying to dictate the way people should look, which means that your country is not really a place where people can live freely. It's not really where people can express themselves. The hijab literally is just a piece of clothing, so it shouldn't offend you if somebody is wearing the hijab. Now, obviously, there's a lot of more of a deeper meaning behind the hijab and behind why women like myself choose to wear it, but does that mean that you should get to decide if we wear it or not? No, absolutely not. So if like I was living in a country which actually did ban the hijab, I would first of all like do all the things that I could do peacefully to try and oppose that, and then essentially I just would probably look at relocating, honestly, because I don't want to live in a country that tries to dictate to me how I should dress in any way. I think that the rules and regulations and laws of a country should be there to protect you, to keep you safe, to make sure that everything's running smoothly. But what I choose to put on my head does not personally affect you or the way that you govern the country in any way whatsoever. Women wearing the hijab is like considered a serious issue in a country. It's clearly extremely right-winged, and it's clearly a place which is not welcome to free-thinking, open-minded people, and that is not a place for me. That is the end of the questions. I feel like I'm saying a lot of I am going to be really annoyed when I'm editing this later, but I'm going to go now to my parents' house and get some food and have some dinner. So I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!